Hey you guys, it's Peter, and welcome to my channel, Peter Likes Books. I was not meant to be a singer, I was meant to be a book reader, a book lover, and yes, a writer. So, I was in my basement going through a bunch of stuff. I have my glasses on because I have to read this. But anyway, I found my college literary magazine, well, one of them, and for about 2 years, I was one of the editors-in-chief of the Genesis at Indiana University, Purdue University in Indianapolis. And it was a literary magazine, and I was the senior editor. You can see it right there. Can you see it? Oh my God, Peter Monn. Okay. So anyway, I had a story in here called Lipstick Kids, and I thought, well, I haven't read this story in so long, and I'm not a short story writer per se, like I don't love it, but I kind of wanted to revisit this. It may be really bad, you guys, I don't remember. So anyway, I thought, well, let's just read it and we'll see how it goes. So here it is, Lipstick Kids by Peter Monn. Oh my God, it says Peter S. Monn, and I was the editor-in-chief instead of Peter A. Monn. Well, those were heavy drinking days for me. Okay. Ruby, darling, in my dream, it was my mother who was calling for me. Her see-through white dress swam around her feet in the currents of a rippling stream. Ruby, time to get up. Actually, it was just Rose, screaming, not calling for me, over crackling bacon and her Jesus music. Reaching for my glasses, I knocked over a glass of water and then stepped in the puddle as my feet stepped out from under the sheets onto the wood floor. It was only 7. Usually I slept in until 10 or 11 on Saturdays. Ruby, time to get up. Don't make me come up there and drag your bum out of bed. I'm coming, I muttered under my breath before sticking my 4-day-old gum into my mouth, trying to grasp for any flavor left in the tiny piece of juicy fruit. Rose tossed 2 pieces of bacon and a slice of buttered toast to my plate before I had even sat down. Rose had already showered and dressed. Her hair was perfectly set, and her makeup, although almost unsightly colors, was perfectly placed on her face. Her left hand was flipping the bacon while her right hand was wiping the crumbs from the counter into the sink. I sighed and ran my fingers through my choppy short hair. Now, Ruby, I told you to go and get ready. Try to make yourself look nice. Do something, for God's sake, with your hair. Grandma, never Grandma, darling, always Rose. You know that. Why the hell are we up so early? Do not use that language in my house. You are, though, going to see your mother today. She's in town and she wants to see you. Mama had come to pick us up. For 9 years, I had been waiting to show everyone she really loved us, and now she was here. I ran up the stairs before Rose could say another thing. Turning the corner of my room, I fell over something in the dark hall. Oh, it's you, I said, staring down at my little sister. This story is kind of long. See, Lippy, she said, staring down at a tube of lipstick. She's excited about seeing Mama, too. She skipped down the hall and into her room. Rummaging through my closet, I found a shirt of my father's and a new pair of cords to wear. Looking into the chipped mirror, I tried brushing my hair down, but decided to just slick it back. I fell into the seat, depressed that I couldn't be better looking. It was my curse in life to be a woman, yet representative of the male gender. Oh, Daddy, I sighed, looking at his picture under the mirror. I could remember one seriously happy moment about my father. He had taken me to the fair. He put me on some kind of ride, a carousel, I think, and just let me keep riding and riding. Every time I'd go around, I'd wave to him and say, "One more time, Daddy, one more time." After about 5 more times, I raised my arm to wave, but he wasn't there. I took the picture out of the frame and slipped it into my pocket. In the new town where Mama was taking us, I would show all of the kids that I really did have a daddy. The picture was my way of living with him every day, not just remembering how he left without saying goodbye. Mama was another story. She just packed all of her things, told Rose she was never meant to be a mother, and drove off in her red pickup truck. Red had always been her favorite color. That's why she named me Ruby. And also because that had been the song on the radio when she believed I was conceived. Mama didn't name my sister. She was gone before she had time. Rose started calling her Mary, Blessed Mary, she'd say. But I knew my sister was a fool. She was 9 years old, never wore anything except for pink, and she would only talk to this tube of lipstick. I guess that's why she goes to a special school. The lipstick is the only thing Mama left behind. Ruby, come on, it's time for you to go meet your mother. Rose didn't have time to drive us to the bar where we were meeting Mama, so we had to walk to the bus station in front of Judy Akers' house. There's something about living on a street for so long that everyone knows everything about you, even when you don't want them to. Sometimes, when school's been really bad, you jump off the bus, excited to be home, but the stupid street reminds you that no matter how hard you try, you'll always be the same person. Always. Where are y'all going? It was Judy in her new rabbit fur coat, although it was the middle of August. Nowhere, I shouted. Why don't you go and mind your own business? Well, I never, she said. You know, Ruby, that's your problem. You're never nice to anybody. Well, that and that your mother is a whore. She shouted and ran in the house. Well, she's come to get us, I shouted, but Judy had already slammed the door. I guess the bus is even worse than your own street. If you have somewhere to go, then you can get off whenever you want. Most kids my age buy cigarettes and magazines. At least that's what most kids at 15 do. When I have extra money from work at the Frosty Banana, I like to get on the bus, and when it gets too hot or too noisy, I just get off at the next stop. Today, though, we had to stay on the bus. Mary just sat there and talked to that stupid tube of lipstick, attracting stares from everyone. Can you please stop that? God, it's so embarrassing. See, Lippy, she's embarrassed too. Hello, my sister is 9 years old and talks to lipstick. Hello, I'm 15, and just because I look like James Dean, everybody calls me a butch dyke. The fact is, I wish I could be prettier. The fact is, I wish I looked like Mama. Well, I wish I looked like what Mama looks like in the picture I have of her. The only picture we have is the one I rescued before Rose burnt them all. It's a picture of Mama wrapped around a pole, dressed in a bikini. She's a topless dancer. That's what she does in the carnival. The newspaper did a story about 5 years back called Residents of Loca County Gone Bad. That's how everyone found out about Mama, but she isn't a whore. She just isn't. She's just developed the way I wish I was. My head hit the seat in front of me and my glasses slid off as the bus came to a halt. I got myself back together and grabbed my sister's arm. Come on, we're here. Why couldn't Rose bring us? I don't know. I think she had to go to church or something. Come on. I had known my daddy at least for a little while, but Mary never had. I don't even think Mama knew for certain who her father was. Everybody said it was his fault that Mary was the way she was. What way, I'd ask, but everyone would just say that Mary was a gift from God. A gift from God. Pimples frosting her face, the worst shade of red hair possible, and she talks to lipstick. She may be a gift from God, but she is my personal hell. Come on, I said, smiling, trying to be a little nicer. She was all I had, I guess. Mary looked up and smiled back at me. Come on, Lippy. Mama's come to get us. We sat in front of Bailey's bar, which was where we were meeting Mama for almost an hour before some man in an apron came out and shouted at us. Hey, you kids, are you looking for Arlene? Yeah. Well, damn it, kid, she's in here waiting for you. Been waiting for you. He slammed the door and left us alone in the dusty parking lot. The bar was a poop color brown with no windows. After 15 minutes more, I decided she wasn't going to come out and get us, so I held Mary's hand and together we walked in. I wasn't sure why Mama hadn't come to see us at the house, especially since she would have to go back there to pick up our things. I was sure that she had changed her mind and was back to pick us up for good this time. It had been 9 years, and maybe she was ready to be our mother again. The inside of the bar was dark with blue and red lights. The man who had shouted at us pointed to a corner away from the bar. I clenched Mary's hand tighter and walked over to the corner booth. She was there. Her hair fell past her breasts in curling clouds of powdery snow. She had on a black leather tank top exposing the size of her breasts, but hid her eyes behind mirrored sunglasses. Hi, Mama? Never Mama, always Arlene, she said. She smiled and I really tried to smile back. This wasn't the woman I remembered. Our Mama had been so young and so beautiful. She took off her sunglasses to reveal puffy eyes with sores around the edges. How have you girls been? It's been so long, she said. We're fine, I guess. Lippy, I don't think that's our Mama, my sister said to the lipstick. It doesn't look like the woman on the pole. What the fuck is wrong with her, she hissed, pointing one of her long fingers, sharpened on the end, into what I could only describe as a perfectly Cruella de Vil painted fingernail. What do you mean? That's just Mary. She's a gift from God. The lady before us began to laugh harder than anyone I had ever seen laughed. Gift from God, she hissed again, blowing smoke all over the table. She's a goddamned retard. Mary just kept on smiling. If she didn't understand, I sure did. And I was told, you never use that word. Let me tell you something, Ruby. Her father got me drunk and then took advantage of me. I thought you didn't know who. Yeah, well, anyway, let me get a look at you girls, she said softer, putting her sunglasses back on while lighting another cigarette. I looked at the brand, Eve's, and decided I would only smoke that brand when I got older. Mary could stay with Rose. I would go with Arlene, and we would smoke and do our nails together. We would be a team. Now, the reason I wanted to see you girls today, she said, well, really, I only need to see you, Ruby. I knew it. She decided to take me and leave stupid old Mary behind. The reason is that I need you to sign these papers to prove that I really am your mama. See, I got some money I need to get, and well, you don't need to know the specifics of it, but she reached for a glass but realized it was empty. Hey, Bailey, how about another Jack and Coke? And she looked over at us. And 2 sodas. But I just need you to sign some papers. Don't you want to... but I just need you to sign some papers. Sign some papers, I asked. But don't you want to take me with you? I mean, wait, she said. Hey, wait a minute. She began to adjust her breasts, pulling them up, pushing them over. Well, isn't that what I mean, you can leave her, just take me. Don't you want me? I said. The drinks came and Arlene finished hers without a breath. Just one more, please, she said, showing her stained teeth while smiling at Bailey. Some music came on, and for a while we just sat there and listened, drinking our drinks. It was Gloria Gaynor's I Will Survive. The music was playing over the sound of pool balls striking each other, and Arlene was blowing smoke in my face, taking me in under her sunglasses. I vowed I would never forget this moment. I noticed that she wasn't wearing any red, not a stitch, and then I noticed she was looking at Mary. So what's with this lipstick biz, she said, pointing a finger at Mary. Mary held out the tube to Arlene. She took it from her hand, careful not to touch Mary, and unwound the tube, looking at the color, testing it in the light. It was the only thing you left behind. I guess it's her way of remembering you, I said. Well now, isn't that precious, she said, still examining the tube. But it isn't my color. It wouldn't go with my act, or my uniform. She kept staring at the lipstick. I do kind of remember wearing this color, though, but that was a long time ago. She handed, almost threw, the lipstick back to Mary. Don't you even want it? She wants you to have it. I was almost screaming. Mary just sat there, holding the tube out to Arlene, who was just chugging down her drink with one hand and motioning to the bartender with the other. Her hand, holding the glass, flew down the table, taking Mary's arm with it. I said I don't want the goddamn lipstick. Give it to Rose. It's more her color anyway. She likes red, doesn't she? But make sure you don't wear it, she said, looking right in my eyes. You hear me? Make sure you don't ever wear that color. I nodded. It'll just mess up your life. Once you put it on, you're a different person, and everyone thinks you are. So just don't put it on, she said. She reached into her purse and grabbed some legal-looking papers. Okay, I don't really want to rush things, but I got a show in Chalkett County tonight, so I really got to go, she said. She handed me a pen, which, when turned upside down, showed a man with no clothes on. If you held it up again, the man had on bikini underwear. I signed where she pointed and handed the pen back to her. Mary held out the tube again. What's her name again? I couldn't believe she could not even remember her name. Mary, I said. Oh yeah, well, Mary, honey, I don't like that color. It's not my shade, okay? She dismissed her with the back of her hand. Mary continued to hold out the lipstick. It's time for us to go, I said. Oh yeah, she hissed, looking at her watch. Well, you girls stay good, y'all hear? Standing up, I took Mary's hand and walked out of the bar. This is such a sad story, isn't it? When we got off the bus, I looked over at Judy's house. I wasn't sure that everyone on the street did know everything about me. I looked over at Mary. Where's your tube of lipstick? She just looked at me and smiled. Maybe she wasn't as stupid as I thought. God, I'm crying at my own damn story because I haven't read it in 20 years. We walked down the street and I stepped on the same cracks that I had stepped on every day. I felt some comfort knowing they were still there and probably always would be. When we got home, Mary ran upstairs and slammed the door. Rose came running from the kitchen at the sound of the slammed door. She brought the smell of Toll House cookies and coffee into the room with her. What's wrong, she said. How's your mother? I just stared at her and didn't know what to say. Ruby, what's wrong? I made some cookies. Do you want some? They're warm. I kept staring at her. Ruby, she said. She smelled like Charlie perfume. The perfume I had given her last Christmas. Yeah, cookies would be real nice, I said. Rose smiled and walked into the kitchen. As I started up the stairs to my bedroom, I started to cry, but why, I wasn't entirely sure. I was mad, not just because of my mother, but because I looked like a boy. I would probably never look good in lipstick anyway. God, I don't even know what was going through my mind when I wrote that story, my God. You're kind of a fool if you cry at your own book or own story, don't you think? Did you guys like that? I have like 15 more of them down in the basement. I can read you guys more stories. Oh my God. I had forgotten all about that. What did you guys think? Anyway, that was kind of hard for me to expose part of myself like that. All right, I love you guys, and I will talk to you later. Bye.